This is Jim with SeductionUnleashed.com, help you unleash your best with women and beyond. And if it's your first time to this channel and you're interested in dating, relationships, self-improvement, and motivational content, start now by clicking that subscribe and bell notification so you can join that notification squad, bro, so you don't miss any updates. Step number 1, acknowledge that it's okay to feel nervous, bro. It's okay to feel fear. In times where you feel constricted, if you try to fight it, what's gonna happen? You're probably just gonna get even more locked up. So just take that moment to not just fight it, but to just acknowledge it. So when you feel nervous, say it out loud. Acknowledge it to yourself in your head. When you do so, take a deep breath. If you can slow down your heart, you can make it a lot more easier for you to slowly, just calmly keep your mind and your body in tune with itself. Step number 2, become competent. Consider this for a second. Imagine you were going skydiving. Would you feel confident knowing that it's the first time you ever skydived? Compare your confidence to, say, the skydiving instructor. I'm sure there's probably no comparison whatsoever. You'd probably be scared shitless, and that maybe that shit would just be another day for him. The point is, you can't expect yourself to feel confident in something if you've never done it before. So if you're in a situation where, you know, that shit is foreign to you, you shouldn't feel down on yourself for just not being familiar with the shit. It's really not big a deal. The point is that if you want to get more confident, the reality is you have to get more competent at whatever it is. If you want to get more confident with girls, you have to get competent with girls. If you want to get more confident at basketball, you have to get good at basketball. It has to come from knowing what the fuck you're doing. Otherwise, there's just no way you can be confident. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have a confident mindset going into something for the first time either. But if you really want to become confident at the highest level possible, you have to become competent. Which leads me to the next step. Step number 3, practice. Practice. Whatever it is, whatever it is you want to become good at, you always have to practice. You always have to put in that work. You always have to put in that work. Otherwise, you're never going to reach your maximum potential no matter what it is. This applies to hobbies. This applies to social skills. Even if you have a high level of competence, if it's been a while since you practiced, you're going to be rusty. And your confidence level is not going to be as high as it would be if you were constantly practicing. So if you want to be really confident at something, whether it be socializing with people, it has to be something that you're willing to put in a bit of practice in. Or even better is to put yourself in an actual situation where you'll be forced to do it naturally, so you won't have to constantly motivate yourself. For example, if you're really bad with people and you get a job, you know, learning sales and becoming good at sales and just talking to strangers, you're putting yourself in a situation. If you want to get good with girls and you turn into a DJ, I mean, obviously that would be hugely favorable. I mean, not everyone's gonna be a fucking DJ, but you see the point that I'm making. If you don't force yourself to be in a situation that's surrounded by that goal, then you're gonna have to have the willingness and the motivation yourself to motivate yourself to constantly practice, unless it isn't something that has a huge motivational factor for you, which is something that you have to consider personally. Number 4, have a positive incantation and physical reminder. For example, if you ever notice athletes, oftentimes they have certain little motions that they do when they want to get themselves into the zone. For example, a lot of dudes will clap, or like say Manny Pacquiao, like he always bangs his gloves together. That's something that always appears in my mind when I think about this. I could imagine that shit would pump you up. If you were banging your gloves together, like, okay, after you just got hit in the fucking face, that probably would wake you up. For example, if every time you hit a free throw, you do the same kind of rhythm, you're programming yourself to always have this positive mindset, the same kind of state and emotion to these gestures that you do every single time consistently. That would put you in the zone to just do what you need to do. So like for me, one thing that I do is I often take a deep breath and I'll clap my hands together and rub them a bit and just say something along the lines of like, okay, let's do this, or like it's time to put in work. Something really positive and motivating for yourself. Pick something that you can really resonate with, that you can do consistently in a number of situations. Another thing you could do along with that is call yourself by your name, like saying, you know, like, let's do this, Jen, you got this, Jen. Whatever the case is, talking to yourself, bringing your name up, it just brings out a more personal side of you when you hear your actual name psychologically. Number 5, as soon as you find yourself thinking of something negative or something that makes you fucking procrastinate, count down from 5 and then immediately do what you were supposed to actually do. Now, this is like one of my favorite things, and it's one of those few practical tips that you actually really use on a regular basis, at least for me. Whenever I find myself about to hesitate or I'm about to think something negative, I count down from 5 and then I do something positive, or I do something that I really needed to do. I really needed to get done that day, something productive or positive. Something about counting down backwards from 5, it just resets your brain. It pauses that. It's something that's just complicated enough to make your brain have to think for a fucking second. And then once that shit is over, you're just on it. You're on to the next thing. You don't think about it. Say like every morning that you wake up, when you wake up in the morning, if you have a hard time waking up, count down from 5, and by the end of it, get your ass out of bed. I guarantee you, it's gonna make it easier. This is one of those things that's a practical hack, that you just hear the shit and it works for you. Me personally, it just works for me. And a lot of things I try, and it's hard for me to do consistently. But this is one of those things I can always remember easily, and I can always do when I find myself, when I find my mind going to a negative place, or I just find myself slacking off and not doing the shit that I'm supposed to be doing, bro. What you need is focus and motivation and confidence in your purpose in life, a systemized order of things that you want to get done, whether it be in health, whether it be financial, whatever it is. You should treat everything like a system, even if it's difficult, dude. You're a fucking computer, man. You're a human computer, and you're a man. You're the highest being on this fucking planet. Nothing can stop you. Nothing says your potential is limited. You can't even comprehend the shit that mankind's gonna do in the future, so why would you limit yourself without even knowing? Point blank, period. So if you dig that kick-ass video and you want to see more on dating, relationships, confidence, and self-improvement, start now by clicking that subscribe and notification bell so you don't miss anything, bro. So until next time, remember, unleash your best, and confidence is bred by competence. Peace.